and welcome into another episode of everybody's favorite podcast turned TV show. This is the Delco Duo on your Saturday night.
Yeah, I hope you're having a great Saturday night, doing something fun this weekend, holiday weekend. Everyone got off on Monday, so that's always exciting. Thank you again for joining us. If you're new here, this is your first time watching the Delco Duo, welcome. We're so happy to have you. And what we're going to be doing over the next 30 minutes or so is solving your problems at home. So our viewers, they write into us something that's bothering them, something that's really grinding their gears, and we give our 2 cents.
And before we get to that, we can't believe that summer is coming to an end. This is your last summer weekend.
Unofficially.
Right. So summer continues into September, but like the party, the summer vibes.
Is that why you have your white jeans on tonight?
I got to do it because I'm a true believer in you don't wear white after Labor Day and you don't wear white before Memorial Day.
And I'm the complete opposite. I totally ignore all of those outdated, silly fashion rules. I will be wearing white jeans well into the fall. So just warning you from now.
But your favorite color for clothes is black.
Yes.
You love it.
I love black. Everyone looks great in black. It's slimming. It's available everywhere.
But before we even get to what we're wearing, because we got to talk all about it, we're going to go to the debrief.
All right, so you probably noticed that our table this week has some items on it. I am also wearing one of these shirts. So I connected with a man on Instagram, Primitive Shirts. He sent us some swag here. They're all Delaware County based. So you can see this is like a play on Miller High Life.
Yeah.
Delco for Life.
Why did you pick that one?
The Champagne of Burbs. Because I just felt it's Saturday night. You know, we're talking, going out, having fun.
So you can wear the beer shirt.
I wore the beer shirt.
Wait, Champagne of Burbs. I love it.
Burbs. Yes, baby.
That is so Delco.
Yes. So here's some of the swag, a closer look of what he had sent. I believe that he is based in Swarthmore. So I messaged him back on Instagram trying to find out a little bit more about him. And he is now in Swarthmore. But I believe he was originally from...
as my grandma would say. Swarthmore.
Yeah. So there's another one. Yeah, that's like all the sports teams with the county outline.
Right, so you got Phillies, Eagles, Sixers. I don't know what the C is.
So that's the Flyers, the front of the Flyers.
Okay. That's okay.
So the back would be where like the wings are, if you can picture it.
And then you got Union.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so really, really cool.
This is my favorite one.
These little media, because he asked, he's like, so where are you originally from? Born and raised in media. Yep. So we got the little media decals, a play on MTV, which I love this one. Media Philaburbia. That is so true. And this, I think we all remember the Delco bear. I mean, we were terrorized. We've had a bear, more than one bear in Delaware County.
We love
so the greetings from Delaware County, it says we have a bear sometimes. Just of course, the bear has a Wawa hoagie and is eating on top of a Wawa trash can because that's something that we do. It's so gross to think about, but people do enjoy their breakfast and their lunch on the trash cans.
At a Wawa trash can. And, that's a good place to do it. So, really fun. Look him up, Primitive Shirts.
You can find him on Etsy. His Etsy shop has a ton of stuff. I mean, there's comments, reviews, so you can see, all the different designs. He's also on Instagram at Primitive Shirts. So, thank you so much. This is awesome. I love it.
Delco is really lighting up. People are loving it. And I feel like we had something to do with it.
Yes.
You think?
I think we absolutely did.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get to our first episode where we try and help you solve some of your problems. So, Alex from Alden writes, how do you deal with a sibling who believes their feelings are the only one that count?
I feel like this is speaking to both of us. We both come from multiple siblings. So I think we have all felt in one way or another that a sibling is getting more of a say, is being favorited.
Would you say that it really kind of depends on their the hierarchy? So is it your oldest, your middle,
or the baby? I don't think
you're the baby, so you wouldn't say yourself.
I don't think it depends upon the hierarchy. I think it depends upon. I definitely believe there are favorites at different times in a family.
Absolutely.
Any parent will say, "I love you all the same." You're lying.
No, in general.
There are favorites at different parts of life. It depends on what stage of life you're in.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And whether or not you are falling into that favorite category.
It definitely, for my family, it's, it depends, me or Leah, my middle sister, we're sometimes the favorites. But then when Ronnie's home, all bets are off.
Well, that's the baby. Done. All bets are off for the baby. I'm the baby of the family, and I felt like I always had it super easy.
Yeah.
But this question here, how do you deal with a sibling who believes their feelings are the only one who counts? So it's interesting. So does the sibling feel that way, or are your parents also making you feel that way?
Well, obviously, this sibling probably has been kind of spoiled by the parents, their whole lives. And so therefore, they truly believe they don't even realize they're doing it.
And I think, when you're growing up in a household with a bunch of siblings, you're always going to fight over little things. I mean, I grew up with all girls, so I know it was anything from clothes to, toys, even when you're younger. But I think the true sibling problems come out, and this is the sad part, when your parents are older.
Yes.
One unfortunately passes. I think that's when sibling problems truly come to light.
Well, yes. And as you guys get older, it's tougher to deal with that. When you have a sibling who really, becomes a little bit more self-centered, it only gets amplified when there's problems in the family, and then all of a sudden you have this one sibling who just will not work with you. Because you have to continue, even though you're adults and you have your own families at that time, you still need to work on your core family and the one that you grew up with. And a lot of times people lose sight of that, and they just become really self-centered and stuck in their ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about things like selling maybe your parents' house, if your parents have moved into
which there are
care,
all these horror stories.
Or, the splitting of a will, all different things. I think that is when it gets ugliest among siblings.
And you can't let it get ugly, because I really do. So my dad was one of 6, and they sold their parents' house, and they did it in the nicest, just easiest way. They none of them wanted anything out of it. They wanted their connections to stay more than they wanted.
This sounds like a Hallmark movie.
I know,
but they
never works that way. Why not?
Blueprint, because I've heard of such different experiences when it comes to siblings deciding on what to do.
Right.
In that situation.
It's such a shame. I hate to see that, but it's the second you got to sell a house, the sibling rivalries come out.
So how do we solve this? You got to bring that sibling back down to earth.
Bring them back down to earth, but at a certain point, just realize that, you don't want these issues to get too much, so don't make too much of a problem.
Decide what issues to let roll off your back, and decide what issues you want to fight for.
Yeah, and sometimes letting it roll off your back is a little bit easier than putting those fists up.
All right, good luck with that one. Coming up, we have so much more. We're talking about diners and the do's and don'ts at a diner, because there is diner etiquette.
There is diner etiquette. I can't believe we're saying it, but it was actually pretty easy to come up with rules. So stick around for those. And thanks for sticking around. Last week, we were talking about Silver Linings Playbook as a Philly staple. Is it a Philly staple iconic movie?
Okay, so
you said yes.
When I said a Philly staple, that was just something that I said. I don't. Sometimes it came out. Maybe it's more. Someone commented and said maybe it's more like a paperclip. Not a Philly staple, but more like a paperclip.
Yes.
And I felt that. I agreed with that person. So if you're watching, thank you for that better.
Because, yes, this was when
alignment.
I asked this poll on my Instagram, it was 50-50 for most of the time. And then by the end of the poll, it kind of edged out. 56 said no, 44 said yes. So, it was, I don't know if those.
I don't think it's a Philly staple. I mean, we're not talking like Rocky, but because that would be a Philly staple. But I do think it's definitely a rite of passage. If you live in the area, you have to have watched it.
All right. So there's that. We settled that debate, because that's what we do on this show. We settle debates.
Our own debates as well.
Yes, which we constantly are debating.
All right, who do we have next?
We have a mensch.
What is a mensch?
What is a mensch? The Montco mensch. Okay, he wrote in and said, I love seafood at a diner. Any thoughts on my culinary selection?
So before we even get into that, he wrote, hi, your show is awesome. I love watching. So the Montco mensch, thank you so much for your kind words. We love that you are watching. But we had discussed prior to the show, what is a mensch?
Right. And I knew it was a Yiddish word. I'm glad I never used it to describe someone, because I had always thought it was a grumpy man. That's if I was to, use it in a sentence, I'd be like, you're being such a mensch. But it doesn't mean that.
It almost is like a troll, you would think. Like a mensch.
A mensch.
we Googled it. We hit the Google machine because we're only bringing you the most accurate information on the Delco Duo. And it came back as somebody of high integrity, somebody who is noble, somebody who is well trusted. That is what a mensch is.
That's what a mensch is. But it's so funny that this guy from Montgomery County, who we will take questions and submissions.
Oh my gosh,
from
any county. Delaware, New Jersey people, if you're watching, we'll take them as well.
Yeah, it's just our Delco take on it. But I wonder if he knew he was signing off as the
that's what I
Monco
want to
mensch.
know.
And it's a man of integrity.
If you are watching the Monco mensch, please follow up and let us know if we have the right definition, if the definition is wrong. Even if you're not the Monco mensch, but you know more about the definition, we want to know it.
But if you are the Monco mensch, please write to us and tell us. If you understood that, I would love your sense of confidence.
Yes.
To sign off and be like, I am a man of integrity.
All right, so let's get to his problem. He says, I love seafood at a diner. My lady friend, that's in quotations, my lady friend told me that diners are for eggs, meatloaf, and club sandwiches, and that fish is an absolute and total no-no. I wholeheartedly disagree. Any thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
Seafood at a diner? I am the lady friend in this situation. Absolute no-no.
What about an open-faced tuna sandwich? I may have gotten you there. Open-faced tuna.
Like a lobster.
Yes. No.
Crabs.
Yes.
I wouldn't consider a tuna sandwich a seafood. I mean, it's a fish, but I wouldn't consider it like I'm not going to a nice restaurant and ordering a tuna sandwich.
The only seafood. Right. I kind of agree with you. I don't necessarily consider tuna sandwich seafood. But if you are talking about seafood,
that's the only
acceptable one at a diner.
So we decided we were going to talk about, what are our rules when it comes to a diner. So here's mine. Breakfast and lunch only. I'm not ordering dinner food at a diner. Mm-hmm. Now, if you go to a diner for breakfast for dinner, that's different, but they do have some dinner selections. Like, don't get a steak at a diner. 45 minutes max. That's how long you should probably be at the diner. Any longer than that, they're not turning those tables. Because, diners, they move quick. It's the morning.
They do. You should not be shooting the breeze.
And don't bring a first date there. Now, you always hear like the really cute stories of, oh, my husband and I, we go to the diner and we get pancakes every Sunday and it's magical. That's fine and cute and well, but as a first date, don't go to a diner.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And I have very similar rules, just like you. But I went there.
There we go. I should have said that. No steak.
I one time went to a dinner with a group of people and a guy ordered a steak and I couldn't hold it in.
What about steak and eggs, though?
No.
That's a popular breakfast combo.
No. Okay. No alcohol. There are diners that have alcohol, and I'm just like, that's odd.
Manila's, shout out to it. Lancaster Ave, they have alcohol.
Court Diner in Media.
Okay.
Very nice Bloody Mary.
Well, I that one interests me. I feel like a mimosa or Bloody Mary, if it's, if you're at a diner.
I've never done that. No PDA.
I guess it's kind of similar. Don't have a date.
But I do dates. But don't you dare kiss each other. Don't you dare flirty touch. Don't do that at a diner. I'm trying to eat here.
Have you ever seen Grease?
Yeah, I thought it was weird then too.
The diner is like they used to be a place to hang out, like where you would go, like where you would meet that special someone. It was the diner.
I'm not at a diner to hang out. I'm there to eat, and I love the large portion sizes. I love all the fries, meatloaf, club sandwiches.
All right, so there you have it, the Monco mensch. Tuna fish sandwiches are okay.
That's it.
Any other seafood, I think you should pass on it at a diner.
Mm-hmm. But write to us because we want to know, did you know the true meaning of mensch?
Guess we'll see.
Okay, coming up in just a bit. We've dealt with your issues. Now it's our turn. Who are we spotlighting? Jenna or I? Jenna or I?
Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Delco Duo. Hope you've been having fun with us on this Saturday night.
Last Saturday of the summer.
Oh my gosh, stop saying that. Labor Day weekend.
We did a mourning period for this.
All right, it's that time of the show where we bring one of our own issues to you. So let's see who it is.
Meisner needs an advisor.
Or a contractor. That Meisner needs
This is not good when we're talking house.
We're talking the house. My husband and I, Tate, we have been in our house for almost a year. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
It'll be a year in January. So, it's definitely over half a year. And you
guys have done so much.
And we're continuing to do a lot.
That's really nice of you.
It's really true what they say. There's always a project to do. We're enjoying it for the most part, but we got in a big argument over this refrigerator. So our refrigerator, it broke, unfortunately. We need to get a new one. And the issue was that the fridge, when you opened it, it's a really wide door. It was hitting a door frame. Mm-hmm. So the hinge of it eventually, just after years and years of use, because the woman who lived there before us had the fridge for, I think, 10 years.
Okay.
It just broke. So the fridge door constantly thinks that it is open, so it wasn't cooling correctly.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh,
so we needed to get
worst.
We found like a little quick fix. A person came and they showed us something that's going to hold us off, so it's not an emergency. So right now we're debating upon a new fridge. Mm-hmm. So what Tate would like to do, we have some photos so you have a better idea of what this looks like. What Tate would like to do, he did not approve of me taking this photo, is remove that wall that he's pointing at. So that's the fridge there. That we have a door frame and that wall. And then that is like a little mud room when you come in.
That goes into the garage.
So he would like to remove that wall so that we could open a fridge door freely, because if we cannot get the same size fridge, which we really enjoy the fridge because it's large. Mm-hmm. And if we, get the new one, it has to be smaller for that.
Really tight on that wall.
For that wall. So that is the issue that we are debating. He wants to take the wall out and I do not. Now, I'm bringing this to the table because the argument started by him sharing his idea of taking this wall out, and I immediately was like, nope, I don't want to knock the wall down. We're not doing it.
That's a really big decision, and I think for you guys, this is really tough because, it's both of your homes, so you obviously want to make everybody happy, but I really feel like when it comes to do or don't in the house, taking a wall down is a don't. Like, just don't. That's such an endeavor.
His big issue with me is that he felt like I shut down his idea before he even was able to finish, which I did, but the idea was not good. It was a bad idea.
Well, that's like, Eugene always says that. He's like, oh, this is a conversation. You can't just shut me down. This is a conversation we're having. And I'm like, but when it's that bad of a conversation, done. We're done.
And I love you, Tate, but everything down to the designing, the interior design, colors that we picked out. He has been, whatever you want to do, that's perfectly fine with me, has given me no battle. And this is the hill that he would like to die on, is whether or not we remove this wall.
Yeah.
And, I want that big fridge, but at the same time, I don't want, to come in from the garage and see a refrigerator.
Because you guys do use that entrance a lot.
And that's the only entrance. We're not coming through the front door.
I think it'll be nice not to, you walk into a mudroom. If you take that wall down, you're just walking into the kitchen now. There's no mudroom anymore.
So then he was trying to compromise and say, well, we'll take half the wall down. And that's what he was pointing at in that photo. Like, look, see, half the wall can come down. So I don't know what we're going to do at this point, but I think that the issue is that I shut him down and his ideas down.
So let's talk about that in just a bit. But what I would do just right off the bat, just knock on it and be like, oh, I think it's load bearing. Just every wall that you don't want to get rid of, it's load bearing.
Okay, I know nothing about construction and taking down walls, so you got to explain when you say load bearing.
Load bearing. So a house has some walls that are frivolous and some that are load bearing. Like they are holding.
They are the structure.
Yes.
That is the structure of the home.
Integrity of the house is based on this wall. Just pretend that wall is load bearing.
But he's gonna know that I'm making that up because I've never used that phrase in my life. The only thing I know is about studs, so I could be like, oh, there's a stud here. We can't take the wall down.
Or just like your HVAC system is in that wall. I don't know.
Say that I pulled the blueprints.
Yes.
And they said that this wall was essential.
And then, okay. But then, you guys are going to come up to problems like this. And, Eugene and I always talk about, letting some battles go and others.
We talked about this earlier in the show. Which battles do you fight? I'm fighting this one.
This is a battle you need to fight. Eugene always says, you need to choose your battles. This is a battle I'm choosing. Choose this battle.
But I think Tate's choosing it as well. So it's just, for now, we've put it on the back burner. We haven't purchased a fridge, but I do agree with him. I would like a large fridge. And in order to have a large fridge, we need that wall to be gone so that it can open.
Oh,
so I don't know how this is going to end. If you're a contractor and you're watching and you have advice on, and you saw that and you say, I know what you can do. Please help me.
Every contractor right now is laughing at you going, I'm too busy to call you.
I have no materials to help you.
I have no materials. I've got nobody to help me.
And it's going to be a gazillion dollars.
80 jobs to finish before I get to your stupid wall.
See, this is what I mean. Like, you write to us and we solve your problems. I'm speaking to you. Solve my problem. Delco Duo at phl17.com.
All right, what's our trivia for this week?
Oh, I love trivia. Okay, here we go. Delco trivia. It has to do with a place that I think a lot of people may know. What 300-acre popular Delaware County farm has been around for more than 100 years?
Crazy. Stay with us. I think you already know. What 300-acre popular is the key word here, Delaware County farm has been around for more than 100 years?
Did you think about it?
I did.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you're in Delaware County, you know that it is Linvilla Orchards. Come on.
We love Linvilla and all of its entertainment.
Yeah, I felt this was an appropriate trivia question as we are heading into that fall season because Linvilla is about to pop off.
We always take one trip before Labor Day to Linvilla before the crowds start coming.
That.
And we did. Recently, we went to go see the animals. It's basically all Linvilla.
Was
there's
Pumpkinland
no
there?
pumpkin. The
That's
pumpkins
the draw.
weren't at Pumpkinland. There was still like the
They weren't at their home yet for the fall.
They haven't picked the pumpkins.
Oh,
There's us on the hayride. That was
doing all the things.
all. It's so fun. Such you're
There's
on the
me on the
hayride.
hayride.
You don't have any friends.
No, that's Pumpkinland too with Tate. It is a staple. If you live in the area, but a lot of people come to Linvilla the next 3 months, September, October, November. It's you can't find parking.
And now it's become one of those places where girls get dressed up in their cutest fall wear and then they go and they take Instagram pictures.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. I'm bringing my whole family. I'm like, all right, pick out the pumpkins. Let's go. And then there's these girls that are like,
what's your favorite part of Linvilla?
Right now, I think it's the animals, just because Joe loves them, and it's just we spend a solid 2 hours.
Some of those animals get really close, though. Some of them, like the goats,
they have no fear
no fear.
Yeah. Oh, and
there was an ostrich at one point. I remember. I don't know if there's an ostrich still there.
There is not, but I do remember the ostrich.
Yeah, my favorite part, obviously, is Pumpkinland. And then the new beer garden is really fun for the adults. But to get a beer there, it's crazy. The line is really long.
It is. And I definitely think now that I'm getting older, I love that they've done these hay rides. They're so organized, so well run.
It's a well-oiled machine.
It really is. I love it.
Yeah, 108 years. I think it's 108 years this year. So obviously you're going to have your business plan down. So if you haven't visited Linvilla, definitely try to get out there this fall. I know I'll be there at some point.
And we finally agreed. It's a Delco staple.
That is a
Delco staple.
All right, you can see it on the bottom of your screen. Delco Duo at phl17.com. That's how a lot of you have been talking to us. Even if you don't have issues, letting us know what you like, what you don't like about the show. We read it all.
Oh, we do. And it doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
All right, and Instagram, Twitter, always to obviously connect with us and to send us your problems.
We love it.
But thank you for joining us.
Have a good night and goodbye, summer.
No.